All right, let's bring Chubby Checker in, who is going to be here. He is doing a fundraising concert to benefit homeless dogs, cats, horses, and other animals of Geauga County Humane Society's Rescue Village. And it is Saturday at the Hard Rock Rocksino Northfield Park. I'll give you all of the details about this show coming up in just a moment. Chubby Checker, good morning. What's happening, my man?
What are you doing, guy? It's all great being in Cleveland. And
who do people say you look like? I'm going to tell you who my co-host says you look like. He goes, this guy looks just like Muhammad Ali. You get that a lot?
A lot.
You do. You do.
That's a good
yeah,
thing.
Dude,
Yeah. So that song, The Twist, 1960 is when you did that song. And
it's the #1 song on the planet.
Is it? What
Wow.
do you mean by that? The #1 song on the planet?
It's the #1 song of all time.
Yeah.
In 2008, Billboard named it the #1 song of all time.
And tell me how this came about. You did not write this song, right? You performed. No. Tell me how this happened. How did this go down?
Hank Ballard wrote and recorded The Twist.
Mm-hmm.
And they played it for a while, and they stopped playing it. And
so they played it on the radio, and then they
played
stopped
it for
playing.
a while.
Yeah,
they stopped playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And no one was ever going to hear the song again. And the little dance that the kids put together in the inner city, no one was going to see that. So there was a window of opportunity there. So we went in there and we recorded The Twist and did a little different shade on the arrangement and went around the country showing people what The Twist really was at these record hops.
Mm-hmm.
And a disc jockey in Pittsburgh named Porky Chadwick played The Twist. And the phone started ringing. It made its way to American Bandstand, and then the rest was history.
So you were how old when this?
I was in high school.
Wait. You were in high school when you did this song?
Yes, I hadn't graduated yet.
That's incredible. In high school.
Yeah.
How did you even get a recording deal? I mean, this is incredible to me. I mean, did you have a musical background?
Well, I went to Settlement Music School. I studied piano there. But I was singing with my little singing group around. And then I went into a produce market. I worked there for a while in the famous 9th Street Italian market in Philadelphia. And then I went to a poultry market, and a man named Henry Colt took me to a record company. A friend of his was a songwriter there. Mm-hmm. And he took me there because he thought I was a good kid, and I sang all the time. So he took me there, and I was doing an impression on the piano of Fats Domino. And this lady says, "Is that Chubby?" He says, "That's Chubby." He says, "Yes, Chubby like Fats. Let's put Checker on there like Domino."
And that's how the name Chubby Checker came out.
And she was Mrs. Dick Clark.
Oh, Dick Clark's wife.
Yeah, and I was doing a project for Dick Clark. And at that point, the record company didn't have much interest in what I was doing, but after that day, they started taking interest in me, and we started doing some music, and I made some songs. I made a song called The Class in 1959, 58, and I was in 11th grade. And then The Twist came along, and then the rest was history, because in 2 minutes and 42 seconds, that song changed everything.
All songs had to be pretty much under 3 minutes back then, right? I mean,
2 minutes and 42 seconds.
It was. In fact, I even heard that back then they would, because radio stations wouldn't play songs if they were too long, if they were over 3 minutes. So some songs would actually be 3 minutes 20 seconds, but on the record they would put 2 minutes 58 seconds to get you to play.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, what did your classmates think when you're in 11th grade, 12th grade, and you're recording these songs and they get played on the radio and stuff? What did your classmates think of this?
Well, they knew me as Ernie.
Yeah.
They didn't. My schoolmates didn't know me as Chubby Checker. They knew I was Ernie, and I had a group called the Quantrells, and we were very popular in school.
Yeah.
That's all they knew. And then all of a sudden, I went on American Bandstand. And then the next day when I came to school, they said, "You're Chubby Checker." I said, "Well, yeah, you're Chubby Checker. You get out of here. You're Chubby Checker."
You were probably quite the ladies' man,
Yeah, well,
too,
yeah,
right?
well,
I mean, you go on American Bandstand back then, all of a sudden, all the girls go crazy for you, right?
It was like that. But we had a chance. And in my yearbook, in our graduating yearbook, I'm always Chubby Checker in my yearbooks, all my classmates.
So Philadelphia is where you grew up?
Yeah.
What did your parents do?
My father was a longshoreman, and my mother was a seamstress.
Were you a pretty good kid? It sounds like this shop owner guy that took you to the record company, he thought you were a good kid. Were you pretty good? You get into any trouble or anything when you were a kid?
Well, I ran away from trouble because the gangs used to go after me, and I lived around Catherine Street in South Philadelphia, and I used to be a shoeshine boy, but they used to beat me up and take my money all the time.
Really?
Yeah, and so I took refuge among the Jewish people in the garment district, and I became a Jewish person.
Really?
And then when I went to junior high school, I became an Italian.
Yeah. He's just like, whoever's not going to beat me up, I'm gonna become that. He's like, you know what? This week I'm Muslim. I don't care. Whatever. I'll do anything. So people used to pick on you when you were a kid.
Well, because I had manners and I all correct. And I came to South Carolina. I was born on my dad's farm, and if we weren't out there in the crops picking tobacco or cotton, we were in church. So that's kind of.
So you were probably you were a goody two shoes basically when you were a kid, right?
I was like an Amish kid when I was a kid because that's the kind of background we had. Mm-hmm. We lived like the Amish people.
And so you were an easy target for these kids in Philadelphia to pick on you.
Yeah, so I took refuge among the Jewish people, and I learned all about that culture, everything. And then my dad moved to a few blocks away, and then I went to junior high school, and then I became an Italian, and then I went into show business.
What about when you were like in high school and you 11th, 12th grade, you started doing all of this stuff, and you said then the kids realized that you were a Chubby Checker. Did they then now have a newfound respect for you at that point, or did they still tease you? Or?
No, when it came to music, I was in my own world. Mm-hmm. I never had any problems in music. In fact, in music, I was a bully in music. I was the gang leader in the music business because if you weren't good, I would throw you off stage because I had this high respect for being excellent on stage. And we were just so good, and we always, we had big audiences, and the kids loved us, and if you were on stage and you were not too good, we just didn't have much respect for you. To get out of here. Yeah. Take a big hook and pull you off the stage.
This guy who did you say wrote and performed the twist?
Hank Ballard.
So he put it out first a year before, 6 months before you did or whatever, and they stopped playing it on the radio. Mm-hmm. Does Hank Ballard, I don't even know who that is. Never heard of him. I've heard of Chubby Checker.
Okay.
Did Hank Ballard, I don't know if the guy's still alive.
He died.
He's passed away.
Yeah, but he wrote a lot of great songs, and he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, by the way.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
Was he he must have been beside himself that he wrote and did this thing, and then you get all the credit for it. You get all the fame.
Yes,
it must have drove him crazy, right?
I'm sure it did.
It did. Did he ever say this to you, or no?
But he wrote the song, so he made a lot of money.
Yeah.
He made a whole lot of money. The song was just so big. It was huge. The Twist is really the biggest event in the music industry because when you go out and you dance with your girl, even before you got into radio, you were on the floor looking at her, she was looking at you, and you were doing something. Well, that's what I did. What I do on the dance floor is still being done because when you're looking at that girl and you're doing that boogie thing, this is the boogeyman talking to you. I'm the guy that brought that to the dance floor, and it's still here. It hasn't left. From the day we did that, it's still here. The only thing they did to the twist, the pony, the fly, the shake, and the hucklebuck, they slowed the beat down. And when they did that, the boogie was born, and it's still with us.
So you recorded that in, I guess, the beginning of 1960 or so, you said?
1959.
So 1959.
Mm-hmm.
You said that this guy who wrote it, he made a bunch of money off of it. Well, did you make a bunch of money off of it? Or I know that things are a little bit different now in the record industry.
No, they're not. They're still the same.
They're still
doing the same thing they did. They do more of it now than they did before.
Yeah.
But we make money. We were successful, and we've been able to live on what we've done. I'm not destitute. We do well, and we go out and we make do shows. I could do better, but I'm. The glass is not half empty; it's half full.
I know that there's a thing like I forget what it is, but some of these guys who wrote these hit songs, I forget what the year is. There's a cutoff, and prior to that, a lot of these oldies stations that play these songs, the guys who wrote those songs get absolutely nothing out of it if it's before 19. I don't know what the year is or whatever. But
truthfully, you know, that's still going on. I mean, it hasn't left. I mean, that element is still in the music industry. It hasn't gone. Everything that we talk about that wasn't the right thing to do, and all of the schemes that go on, it's still going on.
So what happens then when the twist comes out? It becomes a huge sensation. Your life changed overnight?
Overnight.
And what was it like during that time?
Well, it's almost watching a total eclipse in the music industry, because before we came along, you know, we did the swing to everybody's music. I mean, Little Richard, Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, Fats Domino, and Jerry Lee Lewis, and Buddy Holly. They were doing the swing to their music. Chubby Checker comes along with a twist, and the whole dance floor changes forever. It's almost like when Alexander Graham Bell said, "Watson, is that you?" Because the very moment that happened, we were on the phone. We have never got off the phone. And when Miss Edison says, "Turn the light on," and the light bulb came on, I mean, everything changed that very moment forever. And when we did the twist on the dance floor, at that very moment, everything changed on the dance floor, and it never went back to the way it was.
What did your parents think when you hit it big?
Well, you know, it was something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to do this, and I when I was 4 years old, and I was living in South Carolina. I went to Georgetown Fair and saw Ernest Tubb, the country singer, sing on stage, and I was 4 years old. I said, that's what I want to do. I knew what I wanted to do then, and I just worked for that. That's all I dreamt about, and that's all I ever did. I used to tell people I'm going to be a big star. I was 8 years old. I was 12 years old, and then all of a sudden, you know. And when the record came out, I went, it really happened. Oh, God, it happened, you know.
Because most parents would want their kids, they go, it's music, forget about it. You needed an education. Do something realistic, right?
I was always a working kid. The reason why I'm successful because of my hard work. When I was in South Carolina, I was an ice salesman, and I was only 6 years old. When I came to Philadelphia, I was a shoeshine boy, and I made money. My dad insisted that I work. He would not let me sit home. And then I was doing on the garment district in Philadelphia, and then to the Italian market, and then from there into show business. I'm a working kid. I've been working since I'm 5 years old.
So you start traveling all over. This song goes huge. I'm guessing you probably traveled pretty much the world over, right?
I still do it. I travel. That's what I do. It's what I do. I have one little thing that I want to do, because I'm looking at you, and I know, you know, you're a young man. You don't know very much about, you know, because you don't know Hank Ballard. You don't know very much about things, because you know, I want to come to Royer Fest and burn it down.
All right, you can come play a Rover Fest and do the twist. No, the whole everyone.
No, do the Chubby Checker.
Do the Chubby Checker.
Blow your concert away.
Well, we could probably make that happen.
Well, good. Okay.
Now you then. You meet your wife. I don't know if you're still married. I think you are, right? Maybe I'm wrong.
This year, April 12th, I've been married 50 years.
50 years you were married.
And in February 15th coming up, I'll be living in the same house for 50 years.
Really? Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
So you meet your wife, who was a Miss World. She must have been a knockout at the time, right?
In the Philippines. I went to the Philippines to do a show, and Miss Universe was walking the runway, and Miss USA, Miss World, Miss California, Miss Venus, and Miss Ireland, and I was just watching them go down the runway every day in this big 20,000 seater, and we just watching that, and there was this little spotted bathing suit kept appearing in front of my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Who was that girl in the spotted bathing suit? He said, that's Miss World. Where is she from? She's from the Netherlands. Oh, really? Oh, okay. And one thing led to another. We became friends. And
did you go up and talk to her? Or did you have someone go up to her and go, "Hey, Chubby Checker wants to talk to you"?
no, she came on to me.
She came on to you,
She
really?
did.
Yeah.
She said she and all her girlfriends are sitting at the table there, and they're having something to eat. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm just looking because they're beautiful girls, of course. And I didn't say nothing. I was kind of shy. And she said in her broken English, she says, Would you like to come sing a song for us? And I said, I only sing in the moonlight for free.
Oh.
And that did
That
it.
was the line that got it done.
Years later, I asked her, well, why me? Guess what she says? I only sing in the moonlight for free. I didn't know I got caught and didn't even know it. My first big word came out of my big mouth. Amazing.
She's from the Netherlands. She's from a little town called, I think, Haarlem, I think.
Haarlem, yeah,
I've actually been to that little town, as
nice
a matter of
town,
fact.
nice
I partied
town.
there. I loved it.
Yeah, nice town.
I hated the, Amsterdam. I went to Amsterdam, and it was too touristy and too dirty.
Yeah,
and I'm there in Amsterdam, and I ask these people, I go, I got to get out of here. Where should I go? They go, get on the train, go an hour out of town to Haarlem, and you'll have a good time over there. I get there. It's this little teeny tiny town.
Beautiful.
And
nice
you get
people.
out. I started walking down the street. I ran into people. I go, hey, where should I go? They go, take a left down that street. There's a bunch of bars, and we partied there all night.
The Dutch people are very, very friendly. They're very friendly people. They're party people, and they love tourists. They're just so, just very nice, easygoing.
Now, I will tell you, anyone who makes that same trip that I did, the train stops running from Haarlem back to Amsterdam. So it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I get done partying. I had no way to get back to Amsterdam.
Not unless you got a bicycle.
That's right. I hate to admit it, Chubby, because I know you're a goody two-shoes. I stole a bicycle and rode.
That's it.
So now, what year did you get married?
64.
64. Now, so you marry Miss World. She's from the Netherlands. She's a white woman. You are a black man. How was this received at the time in 1964?
I don't think about things like that. I just, love is love.
So you don't care about it, of course, but did anyone? I mean, times were different back then.
There was a lot of, I just didn't care, and I did, I'm that kind of a person. I'm a very, I wouldn't say arrogant, because that's not the word I want to use, and I wouldn't say proud, but I'm a very truthful American citizen. And since I was a kid, my grandfather told my mother, you have to get this boy from down south because he's going to get killed down here. He says, why is that? He said he doesn't believe anything that goes on in society. He thinks that he belongs in society. He thinks that everything in America is his for the taking, and he's not going to take second best for anything. You need to get him out of here because this is South Carolina, and it's different down here. But this has been my whole attitude in life, how I go through life. And I've always thought that this is my country, and everything that I do here that's not against the law, I have the right to do that. I always believed that. And so in the 60s, when this all came along, I never thought about it. I didn't even care. We had a little XK, a little Jaguar, and my wife would get in that car. We'd put the top down and just turn the radio up and this party. We just didn't care about it. And that's how I feel about it right now. And I know a lot of it goes on, and I know it's all around me, but the only way that I could make it in my own country is to be successful, to be a successful person, and just go through it and don't let it bother you. The most important thing is just to be, this is America, be successful, work hard, and benefit from your hard work. That's my philosophy.
Someone told me, and by the way, he is doing, Chubby Checker is doing the Rock and Roll to the Rescue, a fundraising concert to benefit homeless dogs, cats, and horses, and other animals of the Geauga County Humane Society's Rescue Village. This is Saturday, January 10th at the Hard Rock Rocksino in Northfield Park.
After we burn this down, we'll want to come to your concert and burn you down.
I look forward to it. And the showtime is 8 o'clock at this on Saturday night. Someone told me, and I don't know if this is accurate, but I think it was you, that you were against the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Is that accurate?
I'm not against them. I'm
No.
not against Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, not at all.
No.
In fact, you see, it was years ago. I protested in New York City, and I protested a block away from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, who was having a celebration in New York City. And I had a big sign, and I went there because I had a big sign, and it says, "Play Chubby's music." That was it. That was my protest, because my music is not being played on the radio. And when that doesn't happen, it robs me of the great gift that I'm giving to the music industry and all the people that are making money as a result of what I put there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my protest.
What music are you talking about?
Chubby Checker's music.
The old, like
Chubby
new stuff, old
Chubby
stuff?
Checker's music is not being played. That's all right. And that was my protest. I have a new song out called Changes that is getting played a little bit, but I'm talking about Chubby Checker's music was not being played, and I was doing it near the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I used the Rock Hall to get the attention that I was trying to get, because my music is not being played on radio worldwide.
So you were not protesting the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
No, I wasn't. But then some newspapers said, "Oh, he wants to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame." Now, that's not what I wanted to do. You know, I just wanted my music played, because my music is not being played. I have the #1 song on the planet. It will be #1 until 2063.
What do you mean by that? Till 2060?
Well, from 1958 to 2008, this twist was named the #1 song of all time.
Oh, okay. All
now,
right.
in 2013, the Billboard named the song #1 for every year from 1958 to 2013, so it gave it 55 years at #1. Now, the next time that event takes place will be in 2063. But until that time gets here, the twist will be #1 until 2063, which will make that song #1 for 105 years. Now, in 2063, when another song is voted in, then I'll go back to being 55 years.
Right.
All right.
Do you, every time that they play the twist on the radio, because they do play that, right? I mean, they play that.
We're
they have to.
We're not getting airplay. We're just not. I mean, they're not. No,
they don't play the twist on the radio?
We're not. It's the #1 song in the world, and I don't know any format that can not play the #1 song in the world.
Now, every time that you do get it played on the radio, because there's got to be some stations, oldie stations and stuff that play this.
But the #1 song in the world, we don't know about oldies or anything. We're talking about the #1 song of all time. If a country station starts to play it, who's gonna say it's not a big deal?
It's you know, the market is so fragmented now. There's a niche for everything.
The market is always fragile when it comes to people like me.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying this, you know, if you look on Media Base, Twist and Shout, 20,000 times a year. The Twist, 400 times a year. That's not right.
Really? There's that big of a disparity?
That's not right.
So you've been married for 50 years. What's the secret? Tell me. Is there a secret? You guys still get along?
Well, yeah, of course. But you know, the thing is, with married people, first of all, you got to you have to make up your mind that you're never going to get a divorce. That's the end of that.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you do. You're never going to get a divorce. And you got to understand something else. You're not going to win. You're going to have an argument. You're not going to win. Yeah. You're just not going to win. You're just going to have to just, you know, you marry that person. That person is going to be that person that you married, because you married her for something. You like something when you married her. So you got to keep going back to that same thing to realize why you married in the first place.
Now, what did you? Chubby Checker is here with us. What did you? You must have done something at some point, because I know that you have a daughter that plays or played in the WNBA, and so I looked her up, and her name is Misty Bass, and I go, how did she get the last name Bass? So, and this is a daughter, but it's not with your wife, right?
Well, hey, things happen.
Right.
So a lot of people do things like that. They're divorced. Why?
Because they made a mistake.
Well, so what?
Yeah.
So you made a mistake. So what? So that. Remember, see, people don't realize something. There's a certain biblical contract that you have. and I want to go through this because now you brought it up. It says, when you get to that preacher, it says, for better or for worse. Well, that what I did goes on the better or for worse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your husband goes on drugs. Okay, that's better or for worse. You know, for sicknesses and health. Your husband is sick, your wife is sick. You can't leave her. You married him, he was rich, she was rich. Now she's broke. You gonna leave her? You know, until death do you part. Is he dead? No. Well, then why aren't you with him? Why aren't you with her? There's a contract. Now God's gonna hold you to that.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't gonna let you go. I mean, you can get forgiven for being a creep.
Yeah.
You can get forgiven for that. But there's some things that you won't get forgiven for. He
Did
just
you have to do a lot of ass kissing to get forgiven?
I kiss all the time. All the time. You know, and in your lifetime, there's a lot of that you just have to do. There's a lot of things that you're not going to want to do in your lifetime. You know, your husband's going to get in your face, and a woman, being such a smart animal, a woman is brilliant. You know, women are brilliant, and you just got to know how to get around that man. And a woman is very smart. If you're a man, you need to just be quiet and check her out. But you don't want to leave her, because when you leave her, you take off her arm.
But your wife must have been, I'm guessing, outraged that you had a child with another woman,
well,
right?
You know,
I mean, she must have been. Did you tell her, or did she find out from someone?
No, I told her.
You told her.
I said, honey, I did it. What did you do? I said, I did it. You know, and I couldn't go to say you it's your fault. I can't say that. Yeah. I mean, because I have to go along with what's going on. But many people out there, they get divorced for every little thing. Yeah. You're not going to get your way. You're not going to win with that man. You're not going to win with that woman. Just shut up, relax, take your time, regroup, try to explain, because at one point or another, you got to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
And that sex ain't going to work if things are not going well. And some people do some ugly things in marriage. Some women get married to men. They close the door. Okay, is that right?
Of course not. No.
Some men get married to women and they want to punish them. Is that right?
Right.
That's not right. You know, sometimes, you know, you can't talk behind your husband's back. You can't make him, you know, behind your wife's back. You're not going to talk behind her back. You want to, love the woman. You know, if she's gaining some weight, okay, tell her she's getting fat. No, but do it in a nice way.
In a nice way, yeah.
In a nice way. Your husband's getting fat. You know, honey, baby, please. You know, but you have to have that kind of relationship.
Right.
You know,
right.
with your wife, your husband. You got to have a relationship and always stay together. If the kids, don't take side with the kids. And then tell you when your dad gets home, it's going to be okay. I'll take care of your dad. Don't do that. Mm. Work together with
How many
the
kids do you have total?
I have, let me think it was 7 kids.
7 kids total.
7 kids.
Yeah. How old is your oldest child?
The oldest one is like maybe 50. 52.
What did your kids say when you had a kid with another woman? Did they go, Dad, what? Were they upset?
I just tell them, hey, that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't do that.
Yeah.
That's what I tell them. And make sure that you don't do that.
Do you have a relationship with the woman in the WNBA? Is she still playing the WNBA, or did she play in the past? Or your daughter?
Misty.
Yeah.
She just won the championship because she plays with Phoenix.
Okay.
They won the WNBA this year.
Now, were you athletic as a kid or not? Because you were into music and everything.
Not really. No, not so much. Not so.
No. You were running away from all those bullies. That was
that's
your
right,
athleticism.
That's right. But they won the championship, and it's a great thing because I remember when she was in Parker won the high school. They won the championship. Then she went to Duke. And it's the only time Duke went to the championship. It's the only time they went there. They'd never been to the championship since. Mm-hmm. And then this year, she played with Phoenix, and Phoenix won the WNBA. So she's very talented person, very smart, nice girl.
You are doing this benefit for the homeless dogs, cats, horses. Are you an animal guy? Is this one of your causes that you?
I love animals. Yeah, and they raise money for the homeless animals, and there was about 115 animals a week, about 6,000 a year. It's amazing how many how many animals that they take care of, and they don't destroy any of them. They find homes for them all. And I'm glad to be a part of this.
Chubby Checker, he wants to come out to Roverfest and burn it down. That's right. Yeah,
want to kill things. I know you guys have had everything going on out there. You need to come. We're gonna.
What do you think about the state of music today? Do you enjoy music today, or do you not even listen to any of the new stuff?
All I see is this: it's when they're on the dance floor, the chub is there.
Yeah,
that's all I know.
Yeah,
it's like I'm alive and well to tell it. But if you said to Graham Bell, so what do you think of the cell phones? He said, I did that already.
Did you? Someone told me about the lawsuit. You sued the Chubby Checker, the app. There was an app that would measure your penis size.
We don't want to go there.
And they called it the Chubby Checker.
We don't want to go there.
All right. So that's been settled.
We're not going to go there.
All right. But you were upset at that because they use your name.
Of course.
Right. And you don't want to be associated with that.
A lot of people are using my name to make money. A lot of people. There are like 63 companies in America and across the world that use my name to make money. They don't realize I'm a registered trademark. They don't know that.
But do you license? You must license your name out or to certain people, right? Where they can make money and you make money.
All they have to do is ask, but they don't. So
you have to sue them.
I have to go after them. It's expensive, but I have to do that. All they have to do is ask, because if 63 companies license my name,
I'm guessing you probably, if that app maker would have come to you and said, we have this app to measure your penis size, we want to call it Chubby Checker, you go, I'll take a pass on that, right?
I would never.
Chubby Checker is going to be at the Hard Rock Rocksino, Northfield Park. Rock and roll to the rescue. It's a fundraising concert to benefit homeless dogs, cats, horses, and other animals of the Geauga County Humane Society's Rescue Village.
And for all you rich people out there that have a little bit of money, go to the Barkley Hotel.
The Barkley Hotel.
Yes.
And what's going on over there?
It's where dogs check in hotel, and they have their rooms, and they have everything. And by the way, if you go to the Barkley and you go inside, you open the door, and you go, where are the animals? Well, they're out there, so I don't smell any. He said they don't smell in the Barkley Hotel.
RescueConcert.com is the website address, and tickets start at just $39 at all Ticketmaster locations. Chubby Checker, thank you for coming in.
And thank you. You do very well.
Thank you.
I like your questions. You stir me up. I like that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.